Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, WWE The Shield here. I got some off-brand 7-Up here, lemon and lime. Very good. Anyways, here with December Delight number 3. Understand I didn't make a December 1st episode, but I'm going to make it 2 episodes on one day. Don't know when that will be, probably during the break. Oh, that's on. But anyways, one more drink. December Delight episode 3. This is going to be the Kings of Kings channel. I've been looking forward to review this for a while. Upcoming reviews I have for you guys. I'm going to grab it right now. Guaranteed reviews. The Stone Cold Truth Wrestling book review. That will be coming up. WrestleMania 10 review. One of my favorite WrestleManias of all time. Oops. WrestleMania 29. My favorite WrestleMania of all time because it was my first live WrestleMania. And look at it a little bit less than a year after the pay-per-view. What else? I will be looking at older pay-per-views from about 10 years ago to now, and I'll be DVD reviews as well. I want to review maybe the history of the WWE Championship or the Intercontinental Championship, one of the two. I mean, there's a lot of great DVDs I want to get to, so stay tuned for that. The review I have today, as I get to the 2-minute mark of this one. The history of the WWE, 50 years of sports entertainment DVD review. Now, when I saw the list for WWE DVDs this year, I'm about 4 or 5 away from having the whole set this year. I'm not going to get Best Pay-Per-View Match of 2013 because I have all the pay-per-views when they come out, because I need Hell in a Cell, which has come out, but I'll need this more. Hell in a Cell, Survivor Series, and TLC when it obviously comes out. And then also the Raw 25th Anniversary box set is going to be a hard one to get, but I'll get for Christmas. And obviously the box set, or the Best Pay-Per-View Match. So I'm almost done completing them. But when I heard the schedule come out, this is the one I was looking forward to the most. People were like, "Oh, well, it won't be that big. What can WWE do to make this video special, or this DVD special?" Oh, I already worn out the DVD. Look at that right there, and all across that, or this part right here. Well, it's really worn in already. Anyways, I really wanted to get this set when it came out, and then when I heard the reviews about it, so cool. So let's take a look at the cover. The big 50, which I like that they fit the WWE logo right in the middle. I thought that was really cool. It's embossed, so it feels special. 50 years of sports entertainment. You have, I'm going to name all of them down. I believe I know all but maybe 1 or 2. Let's see here. Let's see my knowledge. You got Bruno Sammartino, Triple H, Sergeant Slaughter, Vincent McMahon Sr., Andre the Giant, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Pat Patterson, Trish Stratus, Bret Hart, Undertaker, JYD Junkyard Dog, Edge, John Cena, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, Vincent Kenny McMahon Jr., The Rock, Shawn Michaels back in his early days with the mullet there, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, the Fabulous Moolah, Nature Boy Ruddy Rogers, Mick Foley, Chief J Strumbo, and I don't know who that is. So that's the only person I don't know. Everybody else I know. Interesting things about this cover. I just picked this up. Alright, I caught on to this. The guys in the corners are probably the 4 most marketable guys and biggest guys in WWE history. You know, Bruno Sammartino in each generation. Bruno Sammartino in the early days was obviously the biggest one. Hulk Hogan, obviously Hulkamania era was all, of course, him. Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin of the Attitude Era, and of course Cena of the New Generation. So, I mean, four of the biggest guys in the history of WWE right there in the corners. Interesting that Triple H is pictured right next to Bruno Sammartino because he basically brought Bruno back into the WWE. Both the Kennedys, not the Kennedys, both McMahons, Senior and Junior, are on top of each other and right in the middle of the 50, so that's cool. Punk is right next to Cena, and Edge is on top of Cena. You know, both were big rivalries. And Hogan and Flair right next to each other, so that's big. Other than that's pretty much it in comparisons. But I thought those were interesting. Let's take a look at the back here. You have a couple pictures. You have Andre and Hulk from WrestleMania 3. Bruno with the old belt. That actually looks like a cool belt in my opinion. Triple H holding the World Heavyweight Championship. The Rock. And John Cena posing after his match against CM Punk this year. I'll read the back here. It says, for 1/2 century, WWE has carved a permanent niche in Americana. I don't know why it says Americana. When started in 1963 as a regional promotion, is now a global. Excuse me, let me reset that sentence. What started in 1963 as a regional promotion is now a global entertainment phenomenon that captivates fans in over 150 countries in 30 different languages. Today, WWE is proud to commemorate its golden anniversary. With this never-before-seen documentary, trace the journey from smoke-filled arenas to sold-out stadiums with the legendary superstars and legends who blaze the trail. The history of the WWE, 50 years of sports entertainment, delivers all the indelible performers from Bruno Sammartino to Hulk Hogan, Bret the Hitman Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, John Cena, and countless others. Get ready to experience history with over a dozen bonus matches and moments, including Bruno Sammartino's epic championship reign comes to an end in Baltimore, Maryland. Hulk Hogan slams Andre the Giant in front of over 93,000. Austin 316 is born. Generations collide at WrestleMania 18. Mr. McMahon purchases WCW, and so much more. So that's the back. It really gets you pumped up for the DVD. You have the inside here. You have the 50 right there. That's big. This is the 1988 Royal Rumble. Stone Cold Steve Austin. That could have been any moment, but I'm gonna guess this is when the Austin 316 era was starting, or when he said that. Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3. Bret Hart and Shawn at the Montreal Screwjob. Battle of the Billionaires. Bret Hart coming into the Survivor Series as the champion. Battle of the Billionaires again. Rey Mysterio. The Rock. And John Cena and CM Punk from earlier this year. So, you got the match listing, which I really like, and the 3-disc, and behind them are the old championship, some wrestling boots, and a wrestling belt. So let's get on to the review. I know that's what you've been waiting for. Let me hold out the DVD here for myself so I can read it. If you want to see what the setup I have here, I'm just going to read it and show it off like that, and then read the chapters. Okay, it was like one of those weird endings. Okay, anyways, beginnings and Bruno Sammartino, I guess I'll get to. They talk about Vince McMahon Sr. from all the way back in the heydays. I mean, this was long. Actually, this is Vince's grandfather. They're talking about how he's a boxing promoter and yada yada yada. And it really, I should really just get to the Bruno Sammartino part. What I did like about this beginnings part, it was kind of boring because I don't go way back. I go from about the 80s on. That's what I like to watch. Is that my fault? No. I just don't care for it. What I like about this is they got so many people to do the interviews. It's so many, countless people to interview. I mean, I can't even count them. One that was kind of interesting was Jimmy Valiant, who I had never seen on a WWE DVD before. I mean, God, so many. Fabius Moolah, who had obviously archive footage, but so many people came in and did interviews for this DVD for them. It was awesome. Boy, I can't freaking remember who else was in there. I mean, so many people that I thought that was kind of cool. They even got old Hulk Hogan footage for some interview back in 2005. I mean, it was great to watch these interviews. And, if you want to go see who was in there, go to WWE DVD, or excuse me, WrestlingDVDnews.com, and check out the review of this DVD. If you like reading that stuff, I love reading the review. I was excited for it, and then I picked this up, and great stuff to read. I think it shows who all was interviewed. It was, my God, so many. Mae Young was interviewed. I mean, I can't even explain it. But the one name I thought was really interesting was Jimmy Valiant. I mean, so many guys from the 60s and 70s and 80s. Awesome. Mr. Fuji even came for an appearance. I don't know if that was archived, but he taught. I mean, it was cool, kind of cool. So they go about Bruno Sammartino. Yes, Bruno Sammartino was also interviewed, and now that he's come back, it's like, okay, well, it's not the same anymore. But it is. I think this is the first time he's done an interview, and if it hasn't, my fault. Even though I have all the DVDs, so I should remember. But I liked Bruno Sammartino, or I respected him. And when they talked about him, I didn't think they were really kissing up to him, because he really was the star of the 70s. I mean, alright, I guess they're the late 60s, early 70s. This was a guy that held the WWE Championship belt for 8 years. No one will ever come near that record. CM Punk, I believe, will be the closest to ever coming to that belt ever again. I mean, if you wanted to, I think the closest to him is Hulk Hogan. No, not Hulk Hogan. It was Bob Backlund, who had 5-year reign. Hulk Hogan had a year-long reign, too. But there will never, people were so shocked in 2012 because he was holding the belt for so long. 2011, I think we had so many different champions, it wasn't freaking funny. We were getting transitional champions, but when Punk won it, it was awesome because he kept the belt for the entire 2012 year. It's what made him start, Wrestler of the Year in 2012. And just imagine trying to have that for 8 freaking years. To be honest, I don't know how people weren't bored at that, but I thought it was awesome. Then, let's see where we want to go next. I do want to talk about this. Actually, I'll get to that when it comes to the matches, because that's more important. Let's go to the takeover of the new generation. It says Titan Takeover. I don't remember what that really means. But basically, what happens is they're taking over the areas, they're taking over the territories, and some of the guys were saying when Vince McMahon Jr., Vince Kennedy McMahon, that we all know today, Mr. McMahon, obviously, when he came to the WWF, and took over his dad, his dad wanted him to take over the rings. He knew so much, he was groomed up as a guy, and everybody kind of knew him. But when he became serious, he was serious about going worldwide. He was serious about taking this all the way. Going for it and going national. Taking all the territories and destroying them. And I thought that was awesome. Awesome. So we get Hulkamania. When it all crashing down and it hides inside. I hope this that picture right there. It's my pick that shows. Anyways, Hulkamania. Fun's wild, brother. I actually like this. I like that Hulk Hogan, and they said this in the DVD, Hulk Hogan is nothing without WWE. But WWE isn't as near as it would be right now without Hulk Hogan. Now, anybody could have picked the Hulk Hogan character, but I think Terry Bollea does it probably the best job that anybody else could. Just like Macho Man Randy Savage, no one could have played that gimmick so good like Randy Poffo did. No one. So, I respect the Hulk Hogan character. I like the Hulk Hogan character. I just thought Terry Bollea. I was just awesome. Oh, hold on. I really was looking forward to this chapter, and it was cool. It was cool to see a different side of a Hulkamania. Hulkamania is right. It was cool. Then they talk about the first WrestleMania. If you want a little bit more about how cool WrestleMania was, or WrestleMania 1 was, go pick up this set, the True Story WrestleMania. They go into so much perspective of how WrestleMania could have been a bomb for WWF, and it could have ruined their company. It was a big risk. And but it does go into some detail here, and I like it. But what happens is that, obviously you're gonna make a big statement of WrestleMania. You have to put something on the line, and putting the career of the company on the line is hard. But he knew he could make it a success with celebrities, and celebrities paved the way to making WrestleMania what it is today. You had Hulk Hogan and Mr. T taking on Paul Orndorff and Rowdy Roddy Piper in WrestleMania 1. It was a big match. Now, it wasn't a great match. They have that on the True Story WrestleMania set. But, it was a big match. But I gotta say, hold on a second. I gotta say that, when they talk about the first WrestleMania on here, it feels awesome. When they talk about it here, it's a little, whatever. Saturday night's main event. They went into good detail about how they were already having Saturday morning cartoons for the Rock and Roll Wrestling, which I've never seen, but I kind of want to see. They were doing so many things with NBC, and they were thinking, it was Dick Ebersol, I think is his name, decided an idea to make a wrestling, be broadcasted cable, on NBC. Saturday night's main event, it would replace Saturday Night's Live once a month. And they said it here, and I can believe them. It had higher ratings than Saturday Night Live for 5 years straight. That's awesome, and that's amazing too. It was great success, and there's a lot of great Saturday Night's main event matches. I haven't watched all of them obviously, but there's a lot of great ones that I have watched, and it was a great show. So I liked when they go into detail about that. WrestleMania 3, probably the biggest pay-per-view of all time. You gotta say WrestleMania 3 was a big experience and was a big expansion of the WWF. Obviously, you got Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant going in the biggest match in professional wrestling history. And it is a very big match in wrestling history. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Randy Macho Man Savage tore the house down at WrestleMania 3, which they did not express, which kind of pissed me off. But I did like how they went to WrestleMania 3, and it was very good. And obviously, they have the bull crap of 90,000 fans in there when it was probably around low 80,000, which is still fantastic. It is fantastic to see how many people could fit in that freaking arena. But 90,000 is ridiculous. Pay-per-view expansion. They talk about how they went to more pay-per-views. It went from WrestleMania, then they wanted to do Survivor Series. I wish they would have gone into them competing with Starrcade and Vince threatening that if they couldn't air Survivor Series if they aired Starrcade and they actually did a head-on collision for pay-per-views. After that, they said, no, we ain't gonna do that because that was a big mess. No. So pay-per-view expansion. I like how they did some big stuff and made the pay-per-views. Obviously, Survivor Series was the first one, Survivor Series 87, and then Royal Rumble 88, which I did like that they put that match on there. And I'll get to that later. And finally, SummerSlam in 88, which was very big. So I like how they did it. And then they talk about also, it would go later on to have in your houses, and then all the 12-month pay-per-view system that we have now. The one I wanted to listen to the most, the chapter I wanted to listen to the most, steroid trial. I'd never heard WWE really talk about this. But, they were talking about how in 92 they were kind of screwed because a lot of their big guys were in trouble and taking steroids. And on the juice, if you will. And this really, it got Ultimate Warrior fired. It got Hogan to get one last ring and then go to WCW. It took a lot of guys out of the company. And they left for WCW or left, completely and didn't go anywhere. And didn't want to be in the WWF because of the steroid trial. I thought it was very interesting. I can't say a lot about that steroid trial chapter. I want you to go watch that one. That was a very good one. The New Generation, they talk about, obviously, what I just said, of, basically, how screwed up the WWF was in 93 to 95. And not basically saying, oh, we sucked. They didn't. But this is about the most plain way of saying that they did. Because they had guys like Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels picking up the pace and Bret Hart. And, you had to pick up the pace, obviously, but it was a very low point. They talk about Monday Night Raw was created in 1993. By the way, I do want to say something. Two guys that did admit to using steroids on the DVD. I saw Jim Duggan. He said he did it a little bit. And Jake the Snake Roberts. Yes, he's healthy enough to be on a WWE DVD, so good for him. Good for him. Monday Night Raw. I just finished a whole soda in this video. I need to speed it up maybe a little bit. I do long videos, guys, sorry. But Monday Night Raw, they're talking about the first episode of Raw. And how big and important it was, and yada yada yada. January 11, 1993, we've all heard that. Monday Night War, they're talking about, obviously, how big the Monday Night War was, and how WCW was kicking their butt in 96. 93 through 96. I mean, actually, I should say 95 and 96, because obviously WCW didn't have a show in 93, 94, but, how WCW, when they put Nitro out, they got Lex Luger on the first episode, which was big because no one knew about that. And they talked about how, it was big. It was very big, I'll say that. Attitude Era. I mean, they really kind of went through this short, obviously, because we just got a full DVD release on it last year with Bad Boy. I mean, it was only 45 minutes too, but, you know about the Attitude Era. It was a great era, obviously, the best era, and probably in WWF history. And, they went through a couple things, yada, yada, yada. Probably the, weirdest thing to be on this set, but I think it needed to be included. I'm proud that WWE did this, because I don't think they've, ever talked about this. I don't know if the Bret Hart Best There Is, Best There Was, Best There Ever Will Be set has a chapter on this particular event, but I think it was necessary, and it was just sad. I almost cried. I wasn't even alive when this happened. Wait, no. What was it? Was it before, after July? I think it was after again. No, it was before. It was the Over at the Edge 99 show. Obviously, Owen Hart falling from the rafters and dying. It was very, very sad. Probably the saddest moment in professional wrestling history. I'm not joking there. And it was very sad, and they talked about this in the set, which I was surprised. But it was necessary. Owen Hart's wife finally made a deal this year. I don't know how big that deal was, but I guess they let them talk about it and how sad they were about it, and, all the condolences. It was very sad. It was very hard to watch. Not that it was a bad segment, but it was hard to watch because it was very touching. SmackDown, when they were talking about SmackDown being made in 1999, again, the year I was born, was very cool to watch. Then they talk about the expansion of how they had, the WCW coming in, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to speed this up. Brand extension, they talk about how they had two different brands and they were battling. You were either a Raw superstar or you were a SmackDown superstar. I mean, you were not the other. And I wish they had included a chapter about Eric Bischoff coming to Raw and that sweet theme music. I'm back, and I'm better than ever. I'm back. Love that song. That's a great song. But I love the brand extension when it first happened, obviously. And they had drafts, and Brock Lesnar didn't want to defend the WWE Championship on Raw, so he got it to SmackDown, and they had the world title on Raw, so he had, two different titles. I liked it. WrestleMania stadiums, to be honest, I didn't care about this one. It was just talking about how you can get into different events, yada, yada, yada. Hall of Fame. I liked how they were talking about the Hall of Fame and, the most elite class getting into the Hall of Fame, which, again, you put almost 95% legitimacy into that Hall of Fame. If you put Macho Man Randy Savage in the Hall of Fame, your Hall of Fame will be legitimate, in my opinion, for WWE fans. But I like how they were talking about it and how the regal class, if you will, gets in the WWE Hall of Fame. WWE Studios, I didn't like about this. I didn't really like it because it was just kind of boring and no one really cares about WWE Studios. I did like the See No Evil commercial. I know it's a terrible film, but that was kind of cool. Seeing the Future. They were talking about the most current years in wrestling, and then talking about the whole 50 years in WWE. The last 5 minutes of the DVD really... hold on one second. Last 5 minutes really made me notice and realize why I'm a wrestling fan. The best interview, and I had to remember this, was Michelle Beadle. She's an anchor for Sports Center, and she was asked to come in there. She says she's been a wrestling fan for a long time, and she, she says wrestling is entertaining, and it's not like baseball where, it can be boring at times. No, WWE, wrestling, you get one match, and it's very good, and then you go right into the next segment. It's action-packed. And she even quotes using the word fake, which she hates because, it's so stupid. I love that. It was probably the best interview of the DVD. Yes. A women's sports broadcaster from Sports Center, who you would think doesn't watch wrestling, but she does, and that's really cool, and I really enjoyed that. And it really showed why I'm a wrestling fan, because even the baddest times, in the time we are at right now, I can still be a wrestling fan because I have hope. And wrestling is entertaining to me. It is something that has been a part of my life since I was 4 or 5 years old. I mean, it has taken a lot of my life. You see this collection, obviously, a non-wrestling fan would not have the collection I have, obviously. And it's very awesome to watch all these DVDs and have fun, because I love wrestling. It's entertaining, it's fun, and it gets, entertaining. It gives enjoyment to me. And it's something I don't think I'll ever go away from. So if there's one thing that you need to watch, if you're down in the dumps, and if you haven't watched production of WWE in years, this is the set to get. If you're not a big wrestling DVD collector, or you're just starting to collect, I think this is the perfect DVD to start out on, or the first DVD, and maybe the only DVD you need to get. Because this DVD shows why you need to be a wrestling, or why you are a wrestling fan, or you should be a wrestling fan. Because it gives you so much enlightenment of the WWE and how they can entertain you and do so many things. And that's what I love about the WWE. So that's what the documentary did for me, and that part, it made it a success. Let's go on to disc number 2. Disc number 2. Okay. We had the first match, which is a WWF Championship match, or WWF Championship match. Bruno Sammartino versus Superstar Billy Graham from Baltimore, Maryland, April 30th, 1977. I didn't like this match. It was boring. Oh my god. I mean, I understand this is old, but Jesus Christ, it was arm drag, an arm hold, headlock, freaking submission moves. Oh, Jesus. I understand. That was the day, but freak, it was not good here. I understand. I don't understand why it was on the set. I mean, it ended Bruno's second reign as WWF champion, but Superstar Billy Graham, in my opinion, was probably the biggest failure, one of the biggest failures WWF or E has ever had as as a wrestler. He lacked. I mean, he had charisma, but he lacked wrestling skills, and he lacked to go with the fans, and he wasn't a success, and he always likes to crap on the WWE now, so that's something that will always haunt him and haunt fans from actually caring about him anymore. So, I don't like Bruno Sammartino. I love Bruno Sammartino. I don't like Superstar Billy Graham, and I hate this match. WWE Championship match, Hulk Hogan versus Andre Giant, WrestleMania 3. Now, we get arena camera with no commentary, no Gorilla Monsoon about, no commentary. Gorilla Monsoon's, God dang it, I can't remember that. Hold on. Oh, don't mess up that DVD, bro. The irresistible force meets the immovable object. I mean, none of that. None of that. I heard it was some kind of lawsuit. They needed to do this kind of match to do that. I don't know. But I've never watched the match, actually, before. And to watch it like this was kind of interesting. It wasn't a great match, but the listening to the fans was pretty dang cool. So I liked it. Royal Rumble match from Royal Rumble 88, excuse me. I think they should have had one match from Survivor Series 87, the Royal Rumble match from 88, and the WrestleMania 1 match between, like I said, Hogan and Mr. T versus Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper, and also should have had the SummerSlam 88 match, which they have that main event on there between on the top 25 rivalries in wrestling of the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks, but I think it should have been on there because I think every main event of the first pay-per-view should have been on this set, but they did at least give us one. It was a very good battle royal, and I like it. It was cool and interesting, and it meant nothing at the time. It was just to fill space, and this is actually on USA Network for free. So Hacksaw Jim Duggan technically wasn't the first one. I mean, yeah, he was, but on pay-per-view, no. So I was very happy to watch this match, and I was very enjoyed by it. A lot of weird guys. Sam Houston. Anybody remember this guy? Not the Texas hero. Talking about, he was kind of like a Texas wrestler, but he was kind of like a jobber almost, but he was going through that Royal Rumble, and it was kind of cool. So a lot of cool things on there, so it was a good match. The first match of Raw's history, Koko Beware versus Yokozuna from Raw, January 11th, 1993. Vince McMahon's on commentary. Macho Man Randy Savage is on commentary, which he did really well in this match for commentary. for some dang reason. And the other commentator was terrible. I don't know who he was. But this match was basically a squash match to put over Yokozuna. I like Coco Beware's freaking outfit. I have never watched a Coco Beware match, so, forgive me, but it was kind of cool to watch for some dang reason. I think Yokozuna is one of the most underrated stars in WWF history. I mean, for the size he is, freaking amazing. King of the Ring finals, Jake the Snake Roberts versus Stone Cold Steve Austin from King of the Ring 96. Not really a match. It was just Austin beating the crap out of an injured Jake the Snake. But obviously it gives us the Austin 316. Austin 316 said, "I just whipped yo ASS." It was awesome, and it become the legendary trademark of the baddest SOB on the planet. So that's why it's on there. And so this too didn't have a great match on it, but it has some very, very fun matches. WrestleMania 3 match is very fun. The Royal Rumble match is extremely fun to watch. And watching, Austin cut that 30-second promo was awesome. This 3 had some really good matches on it. The WWF Championship match, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels from Survivor Series in 1997. Obviously, the Montreal Screwjob. Does the Screwjob hurt the finish or hurt the match? Heck yes. But it's a 3.5-star match. 3.5 to 4-star match. It got weird at the beginning because they were just beating the crap out of each other and everybody's coming out. And I felt like it was like a real thing. It wasn't planned, but it was big. And it was cool, kind of cool to see. So, give them props for that. And it was a good match. It was very solid. And I don't know how they made calls in that match. Like how they could make bumps and how one was going to take a move and the next. I don't know how they planned that match because, boy, I mean, with that kind of controversy, it was insane. What I didn't like was all we got to see was what basically went off the pay-per-view at Survivor Series 97, where, obviously Shawn Michaels screws Bret, and, Bret's pissed, and he spits in Vince McMahon, and then Shawn Michaels tries to run away as fast as possible, hold the belt, and then it cuts off to the next match, or the next moment. And it's like, could we not see Bret Hart going WCW? Like, that would have been awesome. So that kind of hurt, but it was still a good match. Tyson and Austin, Raw, January 1998. Do I really need to go over this? It really started, obviously, the Attitude Era. I mean, Austin getting the championship 14, but this is the first interaction with Tyson. That's all I gotta say. WWE Championship match, or WWF Championship match. Triple H versus The Rock from SmackDown, August 26, 1999. This is the first true main event of SmackDown history, if you don't count the pilot. It was a very big match, and it had Shawn Michaels as a special guest ref. This was a very fun match. It wasn't a phenomenally great match, but it was a very fun match to watch. I mean, I just love watching these guys, and Shawn turning heel was awesome. So very good. Mr. Man announced the purchase of WCW from Raw, March 26, 2001. Not going to go over this event, or this chapter. You all know about it. The Rock versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 18, March 17th, 2002. Very different opinions. Some say it was a great match. Some say it was a crap match with a great crowd that made it a good match. And some say they just don't like it at all and the fans overrate it. I gotta say, I'm in the middle between a great match with a great crowd and a crap match with a great crowd that helped make it a good match. It was a good match. It was actually a very solid match. I thought it was a solid match with a great crowd to make it even better. I mean, the crowd in Toronto, I gotta give you 6 stars on Yelp. Because it was amazing how they could put such a stellar performance. I mean, that crowd was awesome. And they turned on Rock at the beginning of the match and made Hogan a babyface, even though he's in the NWO. So, it was over. The fans were chanting for Hogan. They were booing for Rock, and they were cheering for Hogan. It was awesome. And then at the one point of the match, obviously, where Rock hits a rock bottom, and he goes for the 1-2, tries to go for 3, and he like kicks out early, like really early 2 or late 1, and Hogan's like hulking up, and the fans go ape, like amazing, like how Hogan could get the crowd up even though he was supposed to be a heel. It was awesome, and I could not say anything bigger about that. It was a great crowd with a very solid match. Battle of the Billionaires, hair versus hair match. Bobby Lashley versus Umaga for WrestleMania 23. Overrated match. That's all I gotta say. I don't think there was anything special to it other than the fact that Donald Trump was at a WrestleMania. And he hosted 4 and 5, so I could care less. 6-man tag team match. John Cena, Batista, and Rey Mysterio versus Chris Jericho, Big Show, and Randy Orton from Tribute to the Troops 2008. Now, when I saw this on the match listings, I thought it was very questionable. I'm like, why is this match on there? I'll tell you why. It's because the tribute to the troops. You know, the troops do a lot for us, and I salute you guys. Thank you guys for protecting our home country. And, you know, they do, it's always cool to see them do this. So, I guess you had to show a match from that, and I thought it was very cool. I'm kind of going fast after the documentary, I guess. CM Punk speaks his mind, obviously, the pipe bomb. From June 27, 2011, we have this on 2 DVDs, and it's been barely over 2.5 years. Now, obviously, we got on the CM Punk Best in the World set. So, what did he eat? Oh, sorry, I'm just watching Family Guy. The pipe bomb is awesome. Obviously, Punk is ripping everybody, even his fans. Says Colt Cabana, says ROH, says douchebag, says the fourth wall. I mean, it's a great promo. Great promo. Now, which leads to the final match, number 1 contenders match for the WWE Championship. John Cena versus CM Punk from Raw, February 25th, 2011. And I thought maybe if they were going to put a Cena Punk match, they were going to put Money in the Bank on there. But I liked it they were going to put... Oh, did they put Punk and Rock? Or Punk and Cena, excuse me. I liked that a lot more from this one. From Raw. I mean, I didn't like it more than Money in the Bank, but I liked they put this match on there instead. I thought we were going to get on the Best of Raw and SmackDown 2013, but I guess not. But, this is a more important set that, more people are going to get and buy. So, I think it was more important to put on this one. And it's a great match. It's a phenomenal match. It's the best match on Raw this year. Oops, spoiler, that's one of my Slammy awards. It's the best match of the year on Raw. It's in the top 5 for the best of this year. It was just a freaking awesome match. I mean, the crowd was going insane, and the pile driver. That's all everybody can freaking remember is that dang pile driver. Vince was livid when he saw Punk do the pile driver. I bet he was like drinking his soda and went, oh my god, what the mother, no, what? But I gotta think that Cena was gonna take the blame and take the heat for that one, because I don't think Punk asked Cena to do a pile driver. I almost guarantee you. I think Cena said, do pile driver. Punk was like, what the hell? And then Cena's like, just do it, I'll take the blame. So it was a very great match, and it's great to have on the set, and to close it out is awesome. So that's it, guys. That's the history of the WWE. I take a long review at the 50 years of sports entertainment that WWE has given us. Very good DVD to watch, and I think you need to go buy it now. Go buy it now. So thank you guys for watching December Delight, Episode 3, over. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.